Hi friends, this is Katerina from the Evolution of Stitches. On this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to knit a very simple hat for a newborn baby. As I said, this is for a newborn baby, but you can adjust the size to any size you prefer. If you watch my other tutorial on how we calculate the stitches we need for hats, it will be very easy. For this hat I used this pink yarn. This is 20% alpaca, 40% merino wool and 10% mohair and 30% acrylic. I used a pair of circular needles which was 3.5, and I also used double pointed needles on the top of the hat. But let me show you how to do it. I'm going to start by casting on my stitches. Since I happen to have a bigger needle, I will use this needle to cast on the stitches because this will help me knit the first round. I'm going to cast on 64 stitches for the hat plus one extra stitch in order to join for the round. So this is the way I cast on my stitches. In this way I create stitches in groups, in pairs of 2. So please let me finish casting on my stitches and I will get back to you. So I have finished casting on my stitches. Now I'm going to grab my smaller size needle and slip all these stitches onto this smaller needle. In this way it will be easier for me to knit the first round. So if you have used a bigger needle to cast on your stitches, please do it and meet me then. So I have slipped my stitches on the smaller needles. Now I'm going to use the magic loop because the cable of the needle is quite long in order to knit my stitches. So what I will do is I'm going to place all the stitches in the middle and then I'm going to divide them into 3 parts, and because there are 65 stitches I'm going to use about 21 stitches in each group. So it doesn't matter if you have a few more stitches or fewer stitches, a bit fewer. So here now I'm going to slip the stitches on the tip of the needle on one side and on the other side. So here as I said, I have knitted an extra stitch in order to join the round. So first I need to see where my working yarn is, on which needle. So here, this is my working yarn. I'm going to wrap it around my finger, and now I need to join the 2 sides. So what I'll do is I'll take the last stitch from the left needle and I'm going to place it on the right needle, and now I'm going to take the first stitch off the right needle, so this one, and slip it over the stitch that was on the left needle before. So like this. I'm going to pull up the yarn, and now I'm ready to start knitting. So I'm going to knit my stitches, all my stitches. I would like to say that if you know how to use double pointed needles, you can use them for this hat, but because I know that a lot of people don't feel comfortable with using double pointed needles, I opted for circular needles. So I will continue knitting like this. I will move my stitches by adjusting the cable, and when I finish the first round I will meet you again. Please do it and I will meet you again. So I have finished my first round. I'm going to place a stitch marker here in order to know where the beginning of each round is. Now I'm going to slip it on the right needle, and I'm going to knit the first stitch of the round, of the second round. I'm going to pull up the tail in order to bring everything closer. I'm going to continue knitting the stitches and work stockinette stitch. I'm going to knit 14 centimeters of stockinette stitch for the size that I'm knitting. Of course, you are going to knit the length you need, the height you need for your size. After that, we will continue with the next step of the hat, which is to add decreases. So please work the length or height, depending on how you see it, you need, and I will meet you then. I have finished the length I need for the hat. I have knitted about 14 centimeters, and now I'm ready to start shaping the crown of the hat. I'm at the beginning of the round, and what I need to do here is to add decreases. I am going to add a decrease on every other 2 stitches, meaning that I will knit 2 stitches in the usual way, and now in order to add the decrease I will knit the next 2 stitches together as if they were 1 stitch, like this, and then again I will knit 2 stitches and knit the next 2 together, knit 2, and knit the next 2 together. And I will continue in this way, meaning that when I finish my round there will be 48 stitches on the round. For the next round, after this one, I will just knit the stitches. So please knit these 2 rounds and meet me then. So I have finished the second round, the round with no decreases. Now I am on the third round of the crown, and I'm going to knit 1 stitch and then knit 2 together. So I'm going to knit 1 stitch and knit the next 2 together, knit 1 and knit the next 2 together, knit 1 and knit the next 2 together, and I will continue in this way until I finish this round of decreases. At the end of the round there will be 32 stitches left, and then I will knit a round of knit stitches. Then I will meet you for our 5th round. I have finished knitting round 4, which was a round of knit stitches. I'm at the beginning of round 5, and here I'm going to knit 2 together all the way around. So I'm going to knit 2 together, again knit 2 together, knit 2 together, and I will continue like this until the end of this round. My 6th round will be a round of knit stitches. So please finish these 2 rounds and meet me for the 7th round. I'm ready for the 7th round, which is also a round of decreases. There are 16 stitches left on this round. So I'm going to decrease by knitting 2 together. If you haven't used the double pointed needles, this is the time to switch to these needles, because in this way it will be easier for you to knit your stitches. You can still do it on circular needles, but it's a bit difficult. I'm going to continue by knitting this 7th round with the decreases. Then I will knit my 8th round with knit stitches. Please let me show you once again how to work your decreases on the circular needles. It's a bit more difficult now because there are very few stitches on the needle, but it's doable. What you need to do is to slide the stitches on the tip of the needle and then pull the cable in order to be able to knit the stitches, and then you will continue by knitting 2 stitches together all around. So please finish those rounds and I will get back to you. I'm trying to show you the stitches on the needle. I'm on the 9th round here. There are 8 stitches on top of the crown. There are 2 ways to continue from now on. One way is to fasten off the stitches and finish the hat. And if you watch my other hat tutorial, you can see how to do that. What I'm going to do is to create an I-cord on top of the hat, and because we usually knit I-cords with 3 to 5 stitches, here there are 8 stitches. I am going to continue decreasing, but I'm going to continue decreasing by knitting 3 and add a decrease, and then by knitting 2 and add a decrease. As I said, this is not necessary for you. I'm doing it because my yarn is very thin and I would like my I-cord to be a bit thick. Also, if you have used circular needles until now, you can switch to double pointed needles here. I'm going to remove the stitch marker now, and I'm going to continue knitting for this last round of decreases. I will still use my circular needles just to show you that it's doable. I mean, I want to show you that if you don't have double pointed needles, you can still work the stitches on the circular needles. So what I will do, as I said, I'm going to knit the first 3 stitches. This first stitch of the round I'm going to pull, so the second, the third, and now I'm going to knit these 2 stitches together. I'm loosening the stitches in order to be able to place the needle in. So now there are 4 stitches here. 1, 2, I'll slide the stitches to create the loop, and here there are 2 more stitches that I will knit together. So now there are very few stitches left here. The number of stitches will depend on how many stitches you have cast on at the beginning. Now I'm going to slip the stitches on the double pointed needle. Now I will show you how to knit the I-cord. I have placed the stitches on one needle. Usually we use 3 to 5 stitches for the I-cord, depending on how thick you would like your I-cord to be. I'm going to use 6 stitches, and what you need to be careful about is your working yarn should be at the back. And now you're going to knit your stitches. There is a video tutorial if you would like to watch how we do it. I'm sliding the stitches next to the tip of the needle. I'm loosening the first one so I can knit it. So like this. Now I'm going to pull the tail, the working yarn I mean, and I'm going to knit the rest of the stitches. So like this. Now again I'm going to slip the stitches to the tip of the needle. I will check that the yarn is at the back, and I'm going to knit my stitches again. Maybe it's easier for you to wrap the yarn around the needle for the first stitch and knit the rest of the stitches. So like this. I haven't slipped the stitch from the needle, so now I have finished. I'm going to continue for a few more rows until I get the height I prefer for my I-cord. So please meet me later to show you the finished baby hat. I have knitted a few rows of my I-cord, and now I'm going to show you how to cast off your stitches. Again, I'm going to slide the stitches on the tip of the needle, and I'm going to knit the first and the second stitch, like this. Now I'm going to slip the first stitch over the second. In this way I decreased one stitch. Again I'm going to knit the next stitch and slip the previous stitch over it. Again I knit this one and I'm placing the previous one over it. I'll continue in this way until I finish all the stitches, and there will be one stitch remaining on the needle. So now I'm going to slip the stitch over this one. So now there is only one stitch left. What I'm going to do now is to pull up the yarn and create a big loop. I'm going to cut the yarn, and now you can use a needle or you can use a hook in order to place this tail inside the hat. So on second thought, I think I will use a needle to make my life easier. So I will thread the needle and insert the tail here, here, any way you prefer. Here, and then I will thread again, and I will hide the tail inside the hat. I will also weave in the tail at the beginning of the hat, by securing the tail. Now I will go on the opposite direction. So I will cut off the rest. So in this way I have finished this hat for a newborn baby. This is the basic pattern. You can add different stitches on it. I hope you liked my tutorial. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would love to read your comments. I'm going to upload a new tutorial soon. Until then, always think positive. Thanks for watching. Bye!